All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. So, I'm going to be talking about misogyny and Don Dokken in this episode. It's a slow news day. All right. Before we get to Dokken, by the way, he's got a great song out called Fugitive, which I don't know, dropped a few months ago, and it's really good. I like it. Before I get there, I'm wearing the Hot Blooded t-shirt. Now, they are a Foreigner tribute band from Northeast Ohio. A couple of guys affiliated with this band are good friends of mine dating back 7 or 8 years. And if you want to forego the outrageous ticket prices and uncertainty surrounding the current band that calls himself Foreigner, then you should check out Hot Blooded. Their singer is closer to the original singer, Lou Graham, than probably Kelly Hansen is. Just putting it out there. I mean, I've listened to it, and I'm very much impressed with what they do. Save the money, because you've got one band with 0 original members because Mick Jones is likely not going to be appearing with Foreigner for much longer. And if he does appear, it's for a very short period of time. So you might as well just go see a more authentic and family-friendly and also budget-priced version of Foreigner. The only reason I'm starting to recommend tribute bands, and I have recommended tribute bands for quite some time, is because the original bands either don't have original members, or even worse, they don't sound anything like the original band. So what's a poor boy to do? Well, a poor boy without lots of money, because the economy isn't all that great, still wants some great entertainment at a decent price. Hence, Hot Blooded. Go to hotbloodedtribute.com and check him out. You can even request a show, and maybe the band will show up near you. Now, Dokken, again, he's in the news. This is Don Dokken. He's got a new song out there called Fugitive, doing quite well. In fact, I think a whole album is out there now. And he's been doing interviews, and he's been saying some things. And in this interview, Don Dokken is mad because he can't tell a woman that her blank looks good. All right, I'm going to try to keep this somewhat. The word is, it's ASS. And he says this in the interview. So there are a couple of things at work here. Number one, rock and roll for a very long time has had this element where, at least the music that I listen to, there are hot chicks around a lot of the time. And the hot chicks tended to be in music videos. Think of like Whitesnake and stuff like that. And it was normalized. All of this stuff was normalized. Motley Crue, everybody, for the most part. Journey didn't do it as much, right? Steve Perry had Sherry, his girlfriend, in a video. But objectifying women has been a thing in rock music for a long time. And I'm really not down with it anymore. I may have been okay with it back in the day, but it doesn't age well. And this is the problem with saying, hey, I can't tell a woman directly. How about you just say you look pretty, or wow, you're very attractive, thanks, or you don't say anything. Just admire and smile and make some small talk and just, hold it in. Why do you have to let it out that bluntly? Of course, back in the day, there were things that probably were far worse. So in the 80s, this is what Don Dokken says. It was all about girls in short skirts and push-up bras. Nowadays, I told the band, I go, if a girl comes backstage and she's dressed to the nines, you can't comment and say, wow, your bleep looks good in that mini skirt, or wow, your things are hanging. Would anybody say that, by the way, that your frontal lobes are hanging? I'm trying to use words that, who would say that? to a girl unless you've had like too many adult beverages and you just don't have a filter, which in some cases, I guess maybe some of these women are looking for those types of comments. Now, he says this is politically correct and it's gone too far. Now, I agree that there's a lot of political correctness that needs to be corrected. All right. This might not be one of those things that needs correction. I think normalizing this stuff for literally generations has had an adverse effect on both the music industry and the fact that we don't focus on the music. We're focusing, like, if you put out a good song, now people are going to disagree with me on this. They're going to associate all of the White Snake songs with that, was it Tawny Katane, the late, great Tawny Katane. And I understand that. That's an important element to those videos and really to those songs. But he's talking about a girl comes backstage and you start to comment on certain body parts. That's just, most people, most healthy, normal adult males won't say that out loud. They may think it to themselves, but to me, it just seems weird. Even back in the day, to say, hey, baby, your blank looks awesome tonight. I mean, I don't remember that happening in the 80s. At least I didn't say anything like that. And people I hung out with didn't say anything like that directly to the woman. So this is kind of weird. I think some of this does need to be put in check. Now, he goes on to cite this Spanish soccer president who kissed a star player on the lips without consent following Spain's World Cup victory last August. Now, to be this focused on this is interesting. I missed this story completely. All the coach did was just give her a kiss, a little kiss. And she said, I didn't agree to that. And it's on the news and goes to the government and they fire him. Okay, it wasn't like he grabbed her, you know what, and stuck his tongue in her mouth. He just gave her a kiss because he was excited. Okay, they won. And I said, well, wait a minute. In Russia and France, when you meet somebody, they kiss you on the left cheek and then the right cheek. That's just French and Russian culture. And Spanish, he says. So the guy was excited. I don't know. I would be excited about maybe winning the championship or whatever, but I wouldn't just kiss some random person or this person who was the star player. I wouldn't do that. So Dokken laments again, everything is PC. Got to be careful what you say. You can't say anything to a woman or they'll say you're a misogynist and you're a dog and I'm going to sue you. Now, I will admit, see, this is a balanced approach to this, that we live in a very litigious society. And I don't know if you sue somebody who does this. You may say, hey, that wasn't cool. Please don't do that again. Just, you're violating my personal space or whatever, or I didn't feel comfortable with that. I don't think that's way out of bounds if you're a woman. And it's not necessarily politically correct. It's just, I would say, decent common behavior, and people shouldn't have to be told that it's inappropriate. Now, suing somebody, again, is how I guess it's gone too far. So Dokken says, the world's effed up, so I tell the band, be careful, don't say anything about their butt hanging out of their miniskirt, or they'll sue you. Political correctness wasn't the only part of society that Don Dokken commented on. The rocker pointed out opioid addiction and gun violence while declaring it's just a crazy world right now. It's like all the demons are coming out and the whole world's a mess, he explained. I can't watch the news. Fentanyl addiction, fentanyl from China and Russia, people overdosing. Every day on the news, somebody gets shot. Children are getting ... Maybe he just interrupted himself. Crazy bastards, these right-wing guys go into grammar schools and assassinate children. No, Don. It's not all right-wing guys. In fact, most of them have mental health issues. And I think there was one instance at a Christian school where clearly it wasn't a right-wing guy. In fact, they wrote a manifesto, and it wasn't right-wing, Don. See, Don does something here that I just hate, and that's tribalism. Like, you're on this tribe, or we assume all, because he doesn't watch the news, but who's feeding the news narrative, right? All of these outlets who put out the narrative, well, it had to be a Trump supporter. Again, I'm not a fan of Trump these days. I know a lot of people hate me because of that. But here's the deal. It's not all one side. It's a side which I think he did touch on here. He said all the demons are coming out. Now, all the demons don't have a political affiliation. They're just demons. They're people that, A, need some help. Mental health is a crisis right now in this country. And he did mention the opioid crisis. And who's leaving the southern border wide open, Don? Is it the right-wingers that are doing that? We just need a wing. We need an American wing. How's that? Are you a left wing? Or are you? No, I'm an American wing. America first. Yeah. Not the fake America first, but real. Like, I'm an American. And those things should be important to everybody, like getting the border under control. Why do we have fentanyl coming from China, coming from Russia, and people overdosing? Okay. But to sort of broad brush everybody and put them all in one political camp when both camps are well represented in all of this stuff, it's why you can't talk about politics anymore, because people have stereotyped everything. But his main point about the women here, first of all, talk to women with respect. If they're objectifying themselves, it still doesn't give you license to say, hey, baby, that's a great pair you got there, or man, turn around, so I could see the other stuff. Just, especially Don Dokken's not a young guy. He's and I'm saying this because when you age, don't you change? Don't your values change a little bit? Or do you continue to be a 25-year-old horn dog, your entire life? It's just, I get it when the hormones are going crazy and you're younger, but when you get to a certain age, it just, we're just going to have to not comment on that lady's rack, even though we want to. We're so desperate to have to say anything. Just smile. He did advise his band not to say anything, which is good advice. It's just, you can't control your tongue. You're going to get in trouble if you can't control your tongue. And yeah, in some cases, if it's really unwanted and it's over the top, and you're a source of money, somebody's going to think to themselves, you know what? I want a new pool. I want a new swimming pool in the backyard, or I could use a new car. My car is, 10 years old. God forbid that your car is 10 years old. So you need a new car. And this might be the best way to do it. And lawyers, they love this stuff. And if it gets in the news, a band like Dokken, they could be in a lot of trouble. So I do empathize with some of what Dokken is actually saying here a little bit, but he's presumed something upon the rest of us, which is not true. So in any event, don't forget about Hot Blooded, the Foreigner tribute band from Ohio. They're great. They sound more like the original Foreigner than the current Foreigner lineup. So that's my plug for them. Also, folks, we're in a new year. New year means more problems for me when it comes to revenue. I was having a chat with a patron yesterday. It's very frustrating because I've put out a lot of content. I've got thousands of videos that are posted to YouTube, and that number continues to grow each year. And so my income, I would say, would steadily rise, but it has crashed again. So Patreon, if you want to help me out, $2 a month, $3 a month, whatever you can afford. YouTube memberships, you guys get early watching privileges over there. But I do have conversations during the day with folks on Patreon. Try to keep the comments pithy and concise, and we can have a nice little dialogue. Writing a movie script to me or something might be a little much. And I'm just saying I like to talk to people, but kind of like a quick back and forth is more appropriate. I'm not a big social media guy. I don't know. It's time consuming. It's energy draining. It's people are all over. They're on Facebook Messenger. They're on Telegram. They're on email. They're on. It's just like Twitter, whatever. It's like stop. I mean, all of these different places where you can get messages. So I apologize. I'm not into all that stuff. I mean, literally, it would take up 24 hours a day to be vigilant doing that stuff. So again, I appreciate everybody though. And if you want to have a nice conversation about Dokken and his alleged misogyny here, which is, oh man, we're talking about this in the year 2024. Yeah, that and other fine topics. More than, just grateful to have you over on Patreon. And again, folks, on the more serious side of things, please pray for peace in the Middle East and around the world. And with this election year that is now upon us, pray for peace in your heart and pray for our own country, which is really in turmoil and a complete mess. See you soon.